My beautiful client sent me this diamond ring, which is her original engagement ring, to be redesigned into a new upgraded setting. Now, we are going to be taking the center diamond from her original ring and transfer that over to this new setting. The setting is complete. Now, all I have to do is remove that center diamond, but I wanted to show you how it looks from the original setting. Now, if you take a look at the new setting, what I've made sure to do is make sure that every single diamond is set incredibly close together. And it's really going to highlight the beauty of that diamond so you see seamless sparkle. Now, she wanted what's called a round diamond in a cushion halo. And this is one of my specialties. I absolutely love this style. And once I set that center diamond, you'll see here in a minute how I do it so that way there's no gaps. I've seen other places try to achieve this look, and you'll notice a really large gap between the center diamond and that halo. And I really want to avoid that, especially at the corners, as much as possible. So by designing it so that we're minimizing that gap, it really just sparkles and shines. And I've done several videos on how I achieve this from a technical perspective, and it's always so much fun to listen to other people tell me how they're binge watching these videos and they just never see this type of technique done anywhere. And honestly, it does take a lot of time to make sure that it's done right like this, and it might not work for mass manufactured settings because, you know, in that case, it's much more about drawing down the dollar and making sure you can do things as quickly as possible while achieving a specific result. But in my case, I really want every piece to truly shine, and every diamond is slightly different from one another. So there's no pre-made setting here. Everything is custom exclusively for you. And this is obviously a beautiful setting and classic just by itself. If I were creating a solitaire upgrade, and let's say the design was just a little bit different from what the client wanted, I would suggest bringing in these prongs into the center just to harmoniously flow with the line of that 𝐦𝐤𝐤. The 𝐦𝐤𝐤 is the very point of the diamond. So I would love to have more of a feminine shape along with the diamond. The diamond does not have to be raised quite so high. So right now, a ring like this would probably catch quite a bit depending upon what your lifestyle is, but it's sitting fairly high off of the finger unnecessarily. You can see how large of a gap. Now I will say you do want to accommodate a wedding band just in case, but it doesn't have to be necessarily that high off, even with accommodating a wedding band. So I would also want to make the inside of this ring more comfort fit. It's actually pretty sharp in here right now. It's got this really sharp leading edge, and I want to make it a little bit smoother for her just so it's a little bit more comfortable. Something else I want to keep in mind is the symmetry of the prongs. When I look at this one right here, it seems to reach over a little bit more so than the other ones. So I want to make them symmetrical. The other thing is I love creating claw prongs because they flow in line with the facets of the diamond. So these ones are round pieces of metal along the top, and I want to create what's called very sleek, thin claw prongs. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow your eye to focus more on the diamond and less on the blobs of metal holding in the diamond. Another thing I want to focus on is having that diamond be positioned in the north, south, east, west positioning. So what that means is basically if you look at the facets of the diamond, I want to make sure that it is rotated like this. So that way everything is symmetrical and harmonious. Now this is not something that has to be done, and a lot of people don't even notice it, but I really like to pay attention to all of the fine details. And unless we are hiding an inclusion in a diamond where it's better to rotate the diamond and position the prong hiding an inclusion, unless we're doing that, I really like to rotate that diamond so that way everything is really flowing in line with every single facet of the diamond in a harmonious fashion. Something else I want to point out about this particular setting is that there seems to be a lot of fibers getting stuck under the prongs. If you take a look at the fibers here, they're just getting stuck under those prongs. There must be something about the prong that's lifting up, that's allowing that diamond to trap the fibers underneath the prong. And so what I want to do is avoid that as much as possible. And you know, one thing that I noticed that's not ideal is if you can see that there's a gap between the diamond and the seat of where it's sitting, but it's not on all of the prongs. If you can take a look at this one, it's sitting perfectly flat on the right there, but on the left one there, it's not sitting on the seat. Same thing here on this one, the diamond's not sitting flat on the seat, and it's definitely not sitting flat on that seat. So it's not perfectly straight, because if the ring is knocked one way versus the other way, it's going to be moving it around because it's not seated in anything in a proper sturdy way. If you take a look at this prong here on the left, you'll notice that the prong is lifted up a little bit off of that diamond. It's not to say that the diamond is not fully secure. I mean, I don't think it's going to be falling out in this position, but it is going to be at risk for trapping those fibers, and it could definitely snag on something and get pulled back. So if you ever notice a prong lifting up like that, you do want to bring it to a jeweler to flatten it out, just for the safety of your diamond. Whenever you're doing a solitaire setting, you can have the profile look very different depending upon what your preference is. I really love the taper on this particular design, and you can also have from the top, you have it be what's called a knife edge. So that way it's actually going to make the center diamond look larger. It's almost like a visual trick how it does that, but it's going to have the same structural thickness and width, but it's just going to be tapered outwards rather than just tapering upwards. So that's something that I like to do on our solitaires to really enhance that size of the center diamond. And people are always asking, how do you set a solitaire apart as a custom ring versus something that's mass manufactured, because isn't a solitaire just a solitaire? And quite frankly, that's not true at all. There are definite ways to make sure that a solitaire is set just magnificently. And for some reason, a lot of my clients, they say, gosh, I don't know why, but my diamond just sparkles more, even though it's a solitaire. And I know why. It's because of the way it's set. It's because of the height. It's because of the harmonious placement of the diamond. It's because of the claw prongs. It's because of the lines of the setting. There are so many things about it that truly kick it up a notch. Oh, the comfort fit, definitely. So a lot of ways to make a simple solitaire just absolutely amazing that is not mass manufactured. So if you're looking to create your very own custom diamond ring, definitely get in touch with the studio. But in the meantime, let's take a look at how this ring turned out.